Today on the UOFanatic Podcast, we will be ranking all of the on-site hotels at Universal Orlando. We will rank them by price, by amenities, and by location. Before we get to that, we will of course discuss the latest happenings across the resort.
Hello? This is Jonah Jameson. Roger, over. Is this thing on?
My name is Angus, and I am a UOFanatic. Welcome to the show. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review on your platform of choice by searching UOFanatic, also on YouTube. Follow along and continue the conversation at UOFanaticPod on Twitter as well. All right, we got a great show for you today, and at first, let's cover all the news for the past couple of weeks. On July 7th, Epic Universe began its nightly fireworks and fountain show, Celestial Goodnight. I have remained spoiler-free on this because I want to see this in person, not watch it from a video, but I am happy to say that all reports I've heard have been very positive, and this is another one of those major milestones for the resort. I can't wait to watch this one. And on July 7th, Universal Orlando's official Twitter account announced epic news. Enjoy the thrills of all 5 amazing worlds during Universal Nights at Epic Universe, a new limited capacity after-hours event coming October 3rd and 17th. Tickets will go on sale August 13th. Now, if you're interested in this, I'm sure this is going to sell out very quickly, so make sure you're paying attention, and especially on August 13th. I will actually be there on the 17th, but I'm leaning towards not going because I really want to check out something different this year. Since I'm not 100% sure yet, I'll just leave it at that. And now for some Halloween Horror Night news. We got our show announcement, and I personally couldn't be happier. Nightmare Fuel, Blood Noir. Embark on a dark musical journey and resist temptation as death-defying stunts lure you deeper into a vampire-ridden metropolis. I do recognize this may not have been the best talent from the Fuel Girls, as we understand that they have another tour going on, but I trust in that so many of the local talent has trained with them for years now. Maybe we will be lucky and be graced by a few of the Fuel Girls as well. The truth is, we don't know. But I do think this is going to be fantastic, and with a radically different theme, it's going to feel very fresh and new, so 3 cheers from me. Additionally, we did find out from the official Instagram account of Sideshow legend Ozzy Blood, the insane sword swallower and Guinness World Record stunt performer who's blown minds on America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and even Cirque du Soleil. He is joining Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year. He's bringing his latest Nightmare Fuel creation, Blood Noir, to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. This is from Ozzy's official Instagram. He says, "I've been dying to announce my latest endeavor, and the time has finally come. This spooky season, you can find me at Horror Nights for the newest Nightmare Fuel creation, Blood Noir. You won't want to miss the heart-pounding insanity." I did kind of flip through his photos on Instagram, and this is going to be intense. I'll just leave that at that. On July 13th, we got a Scare Zone announcement. Infernal Carnival of Nightmares. Jack and Dr. Oddfellow invite you to step right up and see what horrors hide in every shadow at a sinister spectacle decades in the making. This is going to be the entry Scare Zone by the front gates. Current construction is showing 2 stages in the area, leading many to believe a stage for Jack and a stage for Dr. Oddfellow. But when we start getting Scare Zone announcement, the event starts to feel very, very real, and soon. We've also had another Scare Zone announcement on July 14th. A Sideshow of Decay, Cindy's Time Has Come. With Dr. Oddfellow's dark sorcery, she opened a portal in the carnival's junkyard, using it to resurrect decayed nightmares from the past that are back to haunt you. This is pretty exciting from a lore or historical point of view. My HHN story started in 2008, so this is before my time, so I'm just sharing how I've heard it. Cindy Kane was originally intended to be the central icon for Halloween Horror Nights 12 in 2002, but the idea was scrapped as the event's figurehead due to real-world social tragedies. The primary reason for Cindy's removal was a series of high profile child abductions that occurred across the United States during the summer of 2002. These included local cases in Florida. So, in a climate of intense national anxiety regarding child safety, Universal's creative team determined that promoting a murderous, disfigured young girl as the face of a major marketing campaign might be in poor taste. So, we were denied Cindy Kane. Universal instead came up with Dr. Albert Kane, better known as the caretaker, who assumed the role of the 2002 icon. Cindy was the caretaker's daughter. While Cindy has been denied her opportunity to be an HHN icon, she is still getting a moment that the fans are going to love. Once you are a fan, this is the kind of thing you love to see, especially when something was before your time, so now you're finally witnessing the lore firsthand. And I know a lot of people who have been going for the last few years are just as excited as an example because they had never seen Jack the Clown firsthand. On July 15th, we got our long-rumored Lagoon Show announcement. Stranger Things returned to Hawkins. The music, the monsters, the memories. In this show, tune into special WSQK broadcast and relive your favorite moments from 5 seasons of Stranger Things. Mike Aiello gave us a little bit more info in an RT as well. Our HHN 35 Lagoon Show this year travels to the Upside Down. In partnership with Netflix, we celebrate all the strange within Hawkins. The music, the characters, moments, fountains, media, mapped projections. I personally think it's a perfect way to celebrate the entire series and give the property the send-off it deserves. I'm obviously a big fan and can't wait to see this. July 16th, another Scare Zone-ish announcement. Clown around and find out. The killer clowns from outer space are coming to the street of Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights. More deets coming soon. I've heard a lot of people suggesting maybe they will be roaming and others slight variants of that, but honestly, the long-rumored Scare Zone mentioned having several clown properties in it, so my guess is just that for whatever reason, they want to give the property and possibly other properties their moment of glory before talking about the zone as a group. Obviously, I'm just guessing, but it lines up with the rumors we had all along. And we will finish our news roundup with the announcement that broke the internet. On July 15th, not from their own tweet, but rather in a reply to someone asking about multi-night tickets offering Express, the main Universal Orlando Twitter account responded with the following. Hello, as we continue to evaluate our offerings in an effort to provide the best Halloween Horror Nights experience for all guests, we have discontinued all Fare with Express Pass products. Other Fare Pass options will go on sale soon. Let's just start with how we found out. That's terrible. They had plenty of time to put a real response together and should have done so way ahead of time. After putting some thought into it, they honestly should have made the announcement at the end of last year's event, a couple days after, letting us know what to expect for the next year. I don't think anyone has a real argument that this was done in one of the worst ways possible. Remember, this wasn't even their tweet. It was just a reply to someone else's, which a lot of people would never even see. The next piece of this was the terrible fan reaction to it. All I saw was a split between people who don't buy Express mocking the people who were upset, and then the flip side of those who let the anger get the better of themselves and just went crazy in what almost appeared like they spend so much money at Universal, they almost sounded entitled. But I do want to emphasize that wasn't everyone really, but when the internet gets angry, that's what we notice, the most awful of the awful. I am an out-of-state pass holder, and I do tend to go usually like 3 times to HHN every year. So I'm definitely one of the people impacted by this. I tend to buy the frequent fare plus with Express and then plan on getting at least 8 different HHN night visits. I'm definitely already on the hook for 2 this year because my daughter and I have an October birthdays. So after our group planned to visit opening weekend, she has to go again on her birthday. And if you are a mom or a dad and when your child, albeit 31 years old, asks you to do something with you, and it even includes something you have a strong interest in, you just don't say no. So even knowing this will cost quite a bit more, I already said yes, so we're going. I am aware despite the hefty price associated with frequent fare plus with Express, it was still kind of dirt cheap if you used it enough, and I definitely did. I'm slowly coming to terms with it, and I'm still really excited over the event, and for the moment, none of my plans are changing. Not sure what next year will bring, but I'll worry about next year next year. As much as the HHN community can feel like a family, every now and then you see something that shows just how awful people in general, even if they share your interests, can be. In the infamous words of the Greek philosopher Bill, please be excellent to each other. So that's the news. Let's turn the mood around here and get into the main topic, ranking the hotels. Now, this rank is more about ultimately learning what the strengths and weaknesses of these resorts are so people can actually get a head start on choosing which hotel they might want to stay at on their next trip. Before we start, I have to say these rankings are based on my experiences and my preferences, but I promise to be open about my logic behind them in the hopes to be very transparent. We will rank them chronologically in the order they were first opened. I've stayed at all 11 hotels myself, most of them several times, so I definitely can provide some real world experience as I weigh the rankings. I'll rank them simply in a scale of 1 to 10, where a 10 is the best possible outcome and a 1 is, well, it's a 1. Each hotel will get scored on 3 different categories: price, amenities, and location. I will share a total score for each hotel, but that isn't necessarily a great way to sell you on where you should stay. When it's all said and done, I'll share a Venn diagram on the website and hopefully in the show notes if you can. I haven't tried this yet, to let you decide what's the best resort for you and your family. Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel. It opened in 1999. It's just a few months later than the Islands of Adventure opened. In a way, the Universal Orlando Resort became a resort destination because of this hotel and the future plans. I don't know how many times I've stayed here, honestly. It's more than 10 for sure. Maybe even more than 15. So the first category for ranking the hotel is price. And let's be honest, the better the hotel, the more it costs. The worst it's going to rank on is price. It's okay. It's expected. When it comes to price, I decided on a 3 out of 10. It's definitely not the highest priced hotel on property, but it's definitely in the running for second or third place. In my experience over the years, I have found the best deals consistently here out of all the original North Campus Signature Series hotels. And in episode 1, I did gather pricing for all of 2026, which I can reflect on here to share. That median price for Portofino was $516 a night. That is definitely a lot of coin, but the lowest prices seen for 2026 were $299. Both that median and the lowest price did put right in the third place as I was estimating. Let's move along to the next category, resort amenities. There's a lot here to unpack. You have the largest rooms on property, you have the most restaurants in any resort, and of course, there is the coveted unlimited express pass benefit that only the first 3 hotels have available. The pool is wonderful, albeit the real hero here is the giant secluded hot tub featuring a waterfall. Great views and really relaxing. If you have never been, at least go visit and you'll see what you are missing. I'm going to give Portofino a solid 8 in this category. Now, when it comes to location, I want to first set the record straight. You'll find a lot of internet drama saying that Portofino Bay is so far away. It's not walkable. It doesn't even feel like it's on site. Let me tell you, that is absolute nonsense. First of all, it's only about 7/10 of a mile, which is like 14 minutes for the average walking speed. I believe that perception is because the first half of that walk, it does not have much cover. The garden walk is such a beautiful walk, but that first stretch towards Hard Rock Hotel has very little covered compared to the rest. Now, you don't have to walk. There's a water taxi, which is a particularly pleasant transportation mode when you're on vacation. Trust me on that one. There are buses, of course, available. The Hard Rock Hotel is only half of that walk, making sharing amenities there a real possibility as well. So don't listen to the haters. I settled in on a 7 for location. While I promise not to dwell on the score, it's still fun to see how it turns out. So for the record, that gives Portofino Bay 18 points total out of a possible 30. If you'd love to hear more about Portofino, just be sure to listen to episode 11, where the entire episode was devoted to all things Portofino. Next up, the Hard Rock Hotel was the second resort to open, and that was a little over a year after Portofino in early 2001. Since price is the first category, we might as well get it out of the way. This one's going to hurt you. While you can find deals on occasion, they are not frequent. This hotel typically costs more than all of the others and sometimes by a lot. The median price for 2026 is $672 a night. The lowest I have seen this year was $352, but I often see it going for over $900 a night. If you see Hard Rock at $400 or lower and you're interested in staying there, that's the time to make your move. Hard Rock Hotel scored a 1 out of 10 for price, simply because it's almost always the most expensive. Now, you do get a lot when you stay at the Hard Rock when it comes to amenities, so that might take the sting out of it a little bit. First, what a stunning lobby, such a great vibe. You really do feel like this is where rock stars stay, and they really do. I've always found the team members here to be among the best anywhere, and I mean anywhere. I had even put some thought into that over the years, and I'm convinced it's one of the few places where you can really be yourself. They aren't telling you necessarily how to dress or what color your hair is. And I think when people are comfortable, they enjoy their work much more. You do also get the coveted Unlimited Express Pass, which is a benefit that absolutely has a big price tag with it. You've got great bars, a top tier pool, and some great food options here. I would go so far to say the best food bar option in the Palm. The vibe here is unlike any of the other resorts. It's not any one thing, it's just a great experience. Where else can you rent a guitar with an amp or a vinyl and record players? Go big or go home. I gave the hotel a 9 on amenities. When it comes to location, only one resort could I give a 10. This resort is a stone throw from the City Walk and the Universal Studios front gate. Unless a boat is leaving as you start walking, you'll beat that boat. 4/10 of a mile from the advertised path, shorter from the pool, and even shorter if you're sneaky. The Butterfly Garden is not just a feature, it's a shortcut. If the party is too much for you and you want to relax a bit, that short walk to Portofino can heal you quickly. Buses for Epic and Volcano Bay and a water taxi to City Walk. Over the years, I've spent a lot of time at the Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. It opened in 2002. When it comes to price, it bounces back and forth ahead and then behind Portofino in price. I know we are not talking about the amenities yet, but the context here is that this is the last resort priced with Unlimited Express Pass benefits. In 26, the median price is $528 a night, with a low of $316 a night and a high of $860 per night. Much like Portofino, when the resort is in the slow times, you'll see those low prices pretty predictably. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 for price, same as Portofino, because of the same reasons. When it comes to amenities, I already mentioned that coveted Unlimited Express Pass, but additionally, they have some great food options and even some entertainment like luau's on the weekends. They have a gorgeous sushi bar in the lobby, a wonderful pool bar and grill, as well as a buffet-styled restaurant. It has a lot going on, and additionally, a walk experience as well. The pool is fun, and the entire resort has a very tropical South Pacific feel. There's a lot here to take in. It's another very special place at Universal Orlando Resort, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for the amenities category. When it comes to location, it's the second closest resort to City Walk. It just happens to come out on the other side towards Islands of Adventure. It also features a water taxi and, of course, bus transportation to Epic or Volcano Bay should you need it. The walk is a little further than Hard Rock, but only by a couple of minutes, and measuring under a half-mile walk down the very shady portion of the Garden Walk Trail. It shares Conference Room space with Sapphire, which is next door, making the amenities of Sapphire and Aventura very accessible should you have the desire or the need. I'm scoring Royal Pacific with another 8 here out of 10 for the location, giving the resort a total score of 19. There was a several-year gap between Royal Pacific Resort and the next resort, Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort. In fact, almost 12 years. I'm not sure I realized they would ever expand until the Harry Potter craze kicked in, and what a change in really everything for Universal as a result. Cabana Bay first opened in 2014 and did open in phases over the next couple of years. This was their first resort that they were using the word value for. But as they talked about it, we just couldn't believe it. How many things they were putting in here when the idea it would really be a value. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but sticking a price here, you can find the median cost per night at 206 a night and 26. I have seen prices this year as little as 104. And on the flip side, around Christmas, you are more likely to pay $371 a night. This resort, much like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade, was definitely a game changer. In the price category, I'm going to give Cabana Bay a 7 out of 10. When it comes to the amenities, it's kind of crazy, really. You have a beloved lobby bar, a shake and ice cream parlor, a food court, 2 pool bars, and a 4th bar inside the bowling alley. Yes, a bowling alley. If that wasn't enough, one of the pool areas also features a lazy river. The entire resort has a sort of 50s and 60s retro vibe with oranges and teal, and they themed it right down to the Zest soap and V8 shampoo. Also, several rooms have a really incredible view of Volcano Bay as well. I'm going to give Cabana Bay a 6 for amenities, keeping in mind the higher scoring resorts prior all had unlimited express pass going for them. Location is definitely the resort's weaker category, but it's really not a problem with how efficient the resort buses are. The resort is about an eighth of a 10th mile walk to City Walk. However, it does have its own private entrance to Volcano Bay. So if Volcano Bay was part of your itinerary, you could make an argument to boost its score and location. When it comes to location, I had to give it a score of 4 out of 10 when considering all the other properties. That gives Cabana Bay a total score of 17. Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort opened in 2016, and I can't remember the categories at the time, but this was originally alone in that middle of the road category. The resort is a relaxed, upscale Caribbean island theme featuring cascading blue waterfalls, lush tropical landscaping, and rustic stone architecture. The idea at the time was, since it didn't have express, it isn't going to be deluxe. But let me tell you, nobody told the architects because you've heard me go on and on about this resort. This is typically the resort I feel has the most bang for the buck. With the addition of Helios Grand and Nova Deluxe, which does not feature the Express Pass benefit, they came to their senses and put this in that premier category, or the Signature Series as they like to put it. But let's talk about price, because that's the first category. It sits really well, especially if you're thinking of it as middle of the road. On occasion, you can snag this for even less than the prime value sister resorts. The median price for 26 is $264 a night, but the low, wow, $145 a night. If you happen to go in the busiest of times, however, you're going to pay as high as $481 a night. Given that incredible median price, I have to give this resort a 5 out of 10 for its pricing structure. Amenities? Yeah, she has them. I'm going to start with my favorite bar on property, Strongwater Tavern. Mai Tai all day long. The pool is absolutely gorgeous and features a zero entry, but it's zero entry across the middle of the pool. This is extremely hard to describe, but you can walk across the center of the pool to get to the drum club as one should. This is a resort, if I have the days to relax built in, I rent a nice cabana and spend a solid day at this pool. I don't personally love the Amatista Cookhouse, but I'm definitely in the minority on this one. Even if you do agree with me, the location will solve that problem. But before I talk about the location, I'm going to give Sapphire a solid 6 out of 10 for its amenities. So now let's talk about the location. One thing without question nobody can argue with, it has more walking accessible hotels in City Walk than any other resort on property. It is less than a 12-minute walk to City Walk, but before that you have Aventura right across the parking lot, Royal Pacific, which is connected at the conference room section, and Cabana Bay across the street. Additionally, it has a water taxi, and the best part about that for us walkers, the boat launch is on your walking way to the garden walk. So should you see a boat coming in, what the heck, let's take the ride. If not, just keep going. Buses to Epic and Volcano Bay, of course. I can't give this the highest location score because the theme parks are 12 minutes away by foot, but it's a really smart home base if you want to explore more than the theme parks. And because of that, I'm going to give Sapphire Falls a 7 out of 10 for its location. So that gives Sapphire Falls a total score of 18. Next up, we've got Universal's Aventura Hotel. It opened in 2018. And at the time, it joined Cabana Bay in the value resort category. Now, Aventura is what they refer to as prime value. If you listen to episode 5, I covered the underrated resort in detail. When it comes to pricing, it does sit pretty close to Cabana Bay. The median price for 26 is $202 a night, with a low price of 114 and a high price of 314 a night. Given that price range, I scored it a 7 out of 10. Amenities, it's fine. It's not at the top in comparison for sure, but it does get a bonus for being like a 2-minute walk to Sapphire and Sapphire's amenities. It does have Universal's first rooftop bar, Bar 17, which is a lot of fun. It's a very compact resort, and that can be a big bonus after a long day at a theme park. Once you walk into the door, there's no room that's far away because of its fidget spinner layout. When it comes to amenities, I mean, I scored a 5 out of 10. It probably would have been a 4 if it weren't so close to Strongwater Tavern, I'll be honest. Location to the parks is one thing, but like Sapphire, it's really close to a lot of things as previously described, which is definitely a plus. It does have a back door to Volcano Bay and its bus lot for a bit of a resort to resort transportation hack. It is a good location, it's just not super close to City Walk, and it does not have a nice leisurely water taxi. So as a result, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And the total for all 3 categories is also 18. Next up is Endless Summer, Surfside Inn, and Endless Summer, Dockside Inn. They're sister resorts and they're really close to the exact price night to night, as well as have almost the exact same amenities. So I'm going to talk about them both together as a group. These resorts, along with Cabana Bay, make up the value inn and suites category. Despite being in the same group, Cabana Bay is priced more along the Aventura model. These resorts do provide a real value with a median 26 price of $160 a night. The low price, with plenty of availability, I might add, sits at $91 for Dockside and $94 for Surfside. That is definitely the lowest cost, which means they are the best in this category, and I'm going to give them a score of 9 out of 10. I don't mean to slight these resorts, but these resorts, in comparison to the rest of the lineup, will definitely come up short. The minor differences between these resorts is that Dockside is larger and has a lobby bar, and Surfside is small and does not have a lobby bar. Surfside opened in 2019, and the larger resort Dockside opened up in 2020, as the pandemic was winding down. I can highlight the theming here is great. It's a casual beach lifestyle. The beds are comfortable, and the sea salt soap is quite frankly refreshing. When choosing these resorts, you probably are prioritizing price over amenities, or you are thinking you are going to spend all of your time at the parks and not at the hotel. The amenities for both resorts are a 2 out of 10. When it comes to the location, you do pretty much have to bus everywhere you want to be during your vacation. Now, the plus side of this coin is that it's very central between the North Campus, City Walk, and the South Campus of Epic. If you have a very balanced vacation split between these campuses, then this could be a positive for sure. It's got, in my opinion, the best bus service on property. They're just across the street from each other, so you could use their amenities from each other. But I'm not sure I can come up with a very legitimate use case for that. My bias, I do like Surfside because it's smaller, which means less people. I've stayed at Dockside just one time, and unless Surfside just didn't have any availability, I can't imagine a scenario where I choose to stay at Dockside ever again. Again, that's my bias. Don't mind me. Try it for yourself and see. If you happen to love the hustle and bustle on vacation, you might even prefer Dockside. I would just think you're insane. That's all. So I'm giving both resorts, a 2 for location, and that means a score of just 13 for each. And like I said, it's just my opinion, but because both of these resorts are so similar and so aligned in price, I just don't see myself ever staying at Dockside Inn again. I would just simply choose Surfside if I was interested in these. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Universal Stella Nova Resort and Universal Terra Luna Resort. They're very similar to the Endless Summer Resorts, that they are sister resorts, and in this case, they're even pretty much the exact same with just different names of things, slight different color palettes in the hotels. So am gonna lump them together. They both opened in 25, but Stella Nova opened first, a few months prior to Terra Luna. When it comes to pricing, they are in the prime value category and pretty frequently are actually priced more in alignment with the Endless Summer Resorts. Terra Luna getting a slight edge on pricing with its median of $158 a night compared to Stella Nova's $179. Despite the median difference, they're pretty spot on with a low of 104 and a high of $345. Most of the time, they're priced the exact same and therefore scoring them both the same, a 6 out of 10. As I said, the resorts have pretty much the same layout, size, and amenities. I will say during my stays, I had the best sleep I've had yet. And maybe it had to do with the excitement of Epic Universe. I don't know. But every day I woke up at either resort, I remember just being surprised at how well I sleep because even in my own bed, I just don't typically sleep that well. I am not a fan of the food at either spot, but I do love the cosmic aesthetic at these resorts. We get decent lobby and pool bars at both resorts. What I'm struggling to come up with the positives here, but I really enjoyed my time at both. I'm just mentioning that struggle because maybe there's something to read into that there. Both resorts get a score of 4 out of 10 for amenities from me. When it comes to location, I'm going to score them slightly different. They have great busing, the same in my experience as like at Endless Summer, but Stella Nova has one boost over Terra Luna in that it's very close and easy to walk to Epic Universe. You absolutely can walk from Terra Luna, by the way. I've done so, and it's only about a 12-minute walk. But that walk is out in the public streets with almost no shade, and you need to know your way. You don't have the benefit of any garden walk here, so for that reason, I don't recommend walking from there. Terra Luna is the other resort I don't see myself ever staying at again, and it's just as simple as Stella Nova has the same price, the same amenities, but it's just a better location. I just simply choose to stay at Stella Nova over it. I am going to give Stella Nova a location score of 4 for a total of 14 points, and I'm going to give Terra Luna a 3 for location, which brings it to a total score of 13. Last but not least, the Universal Helios Grand Hotel also opened in 25. This is the newest of the Signature Series resorts. Its pricing structure is a mixed bag, but it definitely sits at a level higher than your Sapphire Falls, but lower than the other 3 hotels that feature the Unlimited Express Pass benefit. The median price per night for 26 is $447 a night. However, its lowest prices are pretty low at $258 a night. And remember, there's a theme park in your backyard. It does reach prices as high as $827 a night during the busiest times of the year. Another thing of note, if you are staying here, I strongly recommend getting a theme park view. It's literally what makes this place so special. And then, of course, you have to understand your cost per night just went up. So for price, I'm going to give Helios a 4 out of 10, which does settle it nicely between the resorts I mentioned in the Signature Series. The amenities are great here. No complaints at all. The food is good. The pool is great. Bar Helios is next level. And if you have a theme park view, as I suggested, you'll stare out that window more than you think you will. The lobby is absolutely beautiful, and Epic is no doubt the most beautiful park to look upon. I have to give this resort a solid 7 out of 10 for the amenities. Location is a little bit of a mixed bag, but having Epic steps from your room is a really big perk. But you have a 15-minute bus ride for the rest of the places you want to be. So I know 15 minutes isn't terrible, but we are comparing all of these resorts, many of which are very close to 2 theme parks, not just 1. I've settled on giving Helios a 7 out of 10 on its location after much deliberation. I basically scored it the same as, say, Portofino, which is the furthest walkable resort to City Walk. I feel pretty good about that, and that gives Helios a total score of 18. Yeah, when you just totally scores up, it doesn't really mean that much but for the fun and exercise, let me list out the resorts from lowest total score to highest total score. At the bottom of the scores, we have Endless Summer Surfside and Dockside, as well as Terra Luna Resort scoring 13 points. We have Stella Nova scoring 14 points, and then there's a few point gap between the next resorts. So the next resort is sort of that middle stack. We've got Cabana Bay Resort at 17 points, and then we've got a four-way tie, starting with Portofino Bay, Sapphire Falls, Aventura, and Helios Grand all scoring at 18 points. Then we have Royal Pacific coming in at 19 points, and our winner, despite having a 1 for price, is the Hard Rock Hotel that scored 20 points. While I still feel I have a better way to use those scores, there is one obvious trend here. The resorts I expected to score the best did, in fact, and the outliers I expected did as well. I mean, basically, your cheapest hotels scored poorly and your most expensive resorts scored well, which isn't great for decisions since price is such a determining factor for most of us. But it's what's in the middle here that's the secret sauce, so to speak. Sapphire Falls scoring so well with 18 points and at a fair price. I can I can add that Aventura and Cabana do particularly well in this range as well at 18 and 17 points respectively. So the best way to represent this data is by using a Venn diagram. So while that makes for a terrible audio podcast, I hope to insert it into the show notes, put it on the site, and also have it on my socials. Because the only resort that lands in the middle of a Venn is indeed Sapphire Falls. If you care about all three of these categories, it's the only resort to do well in all three of them. If you are really just trying to plan a trip, I think if you glance at the diagram, it will really help you sort out where to look so you don't doom scroll reviewing 11 different hotels, all with pricing for months on end. Well, that was a fun one, but that is going to do it for this episode of the UOFanatic podcast. So let me ask you, did you find yourself thinking a hotel should have been scored differently? I'd love to know. Please comment on Twitter to @UOFanaticPod or leave a comment to UOFanatic on YouTube. While we're on the topic, please like and subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. I would also really appreciate it if you spread the word about our show or share an episode on social media. I really would appreciate your support. Speaking of support, if you would like to support the show, please consider allowing me to assist you and book your Universal vacations. I am an authorized Universal Orlando Resort specialist with decades of experience at touring the Universal Orlando Resort. Remember, my service costs nothing to you. It's absolutely free. I'm paid for by Universal Destinations. You can find out more at UOFanatic.com, where you can fill out a short form letting me know how to get in touch with you about your Universal Orlando vacation. Just look for the free quote button. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Guess that wraps things up. You guys did all right. But don't give up your day job. Say cheese. See you later.